What's poppin', everyone? You got your coach of the Chim Chargers here today for our Week 4 team builder of the WBE. Gonna be taking on my man Patterrz, coach of the Newcastle Nidokings, and he's the team of Salamence, Slowbro, Arcanine, Crocodile, Alolan Raichu, Kragonal, Mega Venusaur, Lucario, Rabambi, Tornadus Incarnate, and a nice little Kecleon. This should have already appeared to your right, and he's drafted a Fight Emvee, so that's something that can, of course, be held by something maybe like Lucario, for instance, you know, with the fighting type moves, or even the Tornadus for that matter. You can probably run Z Focus Blast. I don't really see it being run on Arcanine because with like close combat, because our Arcanine really benefits probably more as an offensive set from running a damage boosting item like Choice Band or Life Orb or something, or even E-Belt for that matter. I think like for if he wants to bring Fighting MZ, it'd have to be on Lucario or Tornadus, I think. So both of those, you know, can make an appearance. Offensively, they do really well for him. But speaking of his team, he has a really solid defensive backbone to his team, because he has like Slowbro, Arcanine, Mega Venusaur, very bulky mons potentially. Even Crocodile for that matter can have Intimidate with Stealth Rocks, and it can be pretty fat as well. So he has some pretty good offensive options. Like I said, Lucario, Tornadus, but I think Rabambi kind of stands out as a pretty big offensive threat to my team, because he can run something like Quiver Dance, Rabambi, Moonblast, Bug Buzz does quite a number to my team, and something like HP Ground to cover, you know, I guess Pokemon like Magneton, maybe even Alolan Muk. If I bring AV Alolan Muk, that can probably counter it pretty well, but I didn't bring it this time. I'm banking on the fact that I can deal with it with this team, because I feel like Alolan Muk kind of it's good versus Rabambi, but it kind of gives me less answers to other certain Pokemon with of course, if I replace any of the 6 that I have here. So let me show you guys what I got. Here. Like I said, you know, I feel like he'll bring, you know, the Slowbro, Arcanine, Crocodile, Mega Venusaur, those 4 mons, super solid for his team. Like the Crocodile gives him the Dark type, which is a great type versus Mega Latias, so that's something that I feel like he'll 100% bring. Plus, I think it's his best Stealth Rocker, and yeah, so I think the Slowbro, probably a defensive set or something. Could even be an offensive set for that matter. Like Slowbro can do a lot of different things. And Mence, I feel like Mence and Tornadus kind of fear abomasnow, like especially Mence in particular, because it takes ×4 from Ice Shard and stuff like that. And I'm bringing, as you can see here, the first Pokemon on my team is a Choice Banded abomasnow. So let's talk about the team real quick here. So Choice Banded abomasnow was the first Pokemon that I wanted for the team. I was looking at his team and I was like, yeah, abomasnow needs to come for sure. Any kind of like D-Dance Mence, like I don't want it to you know, do much to my team, especially since if I have an abomasnow with Ice Shard, it like Mence and stuff, like flying types really get pressured. With the Choice Band, even something like Rabambi takes a lot of damage too. Like that thing, like I said, it can be a threat, but Choice Banded does like min 50%, which is pretty good. So it can definitely you know, it can definitely work very offensively versus his team. Plus, it gives me a really good check to something like a Calm Mind Slowbro, because if I run like a more specially offensive set, Calm Mind Bro can probably, you know, overwhelm it, because my attacks won't be doing as much as he's boosting. So Wood Hammer is going to be hitting extremely hard versus that. And the cool thing about Abomasnow, no pun intended of course, is that like you can use the weather to your advantage, right? Because like he has options for Morning Sun on Arcanine and Synthesis on Mega Venusaur, of course. Those are his like 2 healing moves on those defensive Pokemon. And the Hail will, you know, I guess reduce the amount of healing that he can go for under the weather. Like he cannot heal as much because like it is dependent on weather. Those kinds of healing moves are dependent on weather. So Hail is nice. Hail is pretty nice versus his team, I think, in that regard. And we have Earthquake to deal with Arcanine switch-ins, perhaps, if we can make a good play and predict that. And Choice Banded will do a lot to that. I mean, we'll get intimidated, so it's not going to like OHKO or anything, or do any kind of ridiculous damage, but it can be pretty clutch. And we do have Ice Punch, so that we can actually hit other Pokemon hard besides besides going for Ice Shard, of course. It can still do a lot of damage. And we have Max Attack Adamant. I'm running in 180 speed, so that I took a look at some of his other like past Mega Venusaur spreads in previous weeks, and a lot of them ran 102. A lot of the bulky ones ran 102, so I'm running 103 speed, so that'll be faster in case I need to like outrun it, go for Ice Punch or something. Even though it has thick fat, it can still do some decent damage and can be very useful if we need to outrun something like that. So that's the first Pokemon I got here. Tried to make it nice and spicy with these first couple of mons here with the Choice Banded Abomasnow and now the Adrenaline Orb Delphox. So my boy Chimpact actually gave me the idea to run Adrenaline Orb on something for that matter. And I was like, that's a great idea. He has 3 Intimidate users, being Salamence, Crocodile, Arcanine. And, I think Adrenaline Orb, I think he was saying run Adrenaline Orb on Cobalion or something. But but I was like, you know, I'll take that Adrenaline Orb idea from you, bro, and I'm gonna apply to a Pokemon that I feel can really deal with a lot more of his team, and that is, of course, Delphox. I think Delphox can really work well with Adrenaline Orb because it can outrun a Scarfed Mence with the Adrenaline Orb boost, which, I mean, Scarfed Mence, it can run Intimidate, but I think most of them run Moxie, but I think Arcanine will 100% have Intimidate, and Crocodile more than likely will have Intimidate. If it's Moxie, then it's probably Scarf, and then if he has Mence along with that, it could be Intimidate, I guess. But I think that, you know, Crocodile and Arcanine will both be Intimidate. Mence may or may not be, but the Adrenaline Orb will give us a speed boost, allowing us to outrun a lot of his potential, if not all of his potential, Scarf Pokemon, being like Salaman's Crocodile, which is great because we have Signal Beam that can hit Slowbro Crocodile, of course, with Calm Mind boosting our special attack. It's going to be hitting it really, really hard. I opted not to run a fire move because I think +1 Calm Mind to Psychic will still do a lot to stuff like Lucario anyways, and like fire moves I don't think are too great versus him. These three coverage moves here will do a good number to his team, with Psychic hitting everything hard, Signal Beam hitting the Slowbro and Crocodile, which do take Psychic really well, the HP Ice to blow back Salamence, and that's basically my Adrenaline Orb Delphox here. And the cool thing about it is, right, if we, you know, we're gonna get our Adrenaline Orb activated, and when we attack something, we'll steal their items. So I'm just gonna like, I think that's really heat. It could probably like screw us over if we steal a Choice Scarf, but and then like, get ourselves locked in when we want to just like Calm Mind and quick attacks and stuff. But I think it can be pretty fun, and that's kind of why I'm running it, even though it could backfire. But if we steal like another item, anything besides a Choice Scarf, it could be really, really useful to us. So I think that can work to our advantage here. These three attacks I think are the best for this set here, with, of course, like I said, running enough speed to outrun Scarf Mence. And so next we got here a Suicune. Figured that bringing Suicune is going to be something that's extremely useful because Mons like, you know, Arcanine, Crocodile, even like Slowbro, because we have Toxic on this thing, Mence, and like a lot of his Mons get checked by Suicune. And like Suicune is a pretty reliable switch into a lot of his more bulkier Mons, and it can sort of break it down. Like it can break down, you know, Slowbro with Toxic, and it's a great switch into Arcanine's Flare Blitz, or even like a defensive Arcanine for that matter. And I think it's a pretty cool set with Scald Ice Beam. Ice Beam, of course, being able to hit Salamence extremely hard, if not knocking it out in one hit. And then Mirror Coat, which is an option that I decided to run here for this team because I wanted to sort of have a way of, in case he went for like Giga Drain or something, if he was maybe a more offensive Mega Venusaur set, or even like any kind of defensive set for that matter, Suicune can you know, take a Giga Drain, Mirror Coat it back if we are in that situation where we want to get rid of Venusaur badly. That can really come in handy there. It can also be applied to like Quiver Dance for Bombi. If he Quiver Dances up when we bring in Suicune, he'll likely want to attack the next turn, not wanting to continuously Quiver Dance, I guess. So I think Mirror Coat can come into play there, as well as versus maybe like a Specs or special attacking Tornadus, I think. So that can really come into play in those kinds of scenarios. With, of course, I mean, Ice Beam does a lot anyways. I think the Suicune is really good. Like, it breaks down walls. It breaks down walls with that Toxic. It can Mirror Coat special attacking threats, and then we got Scald Ice Beam to pressure him overall. And yeah, just a nice set overall. Nice and defensive. So our last three mons here are going to be the nice Mandibuzz, Cobalion, and Mega Lati. So let's talk about Mandibuzz. Best defog, question mark. You already know. So it's a good mon, like, for sure. I think in this matchup it's gonna do what it does best, defog away any kind of hazard on our team, and that's pretty useful when we have mons like abomasnow and Delphox, which don't appreciate rocks at all. And we have Brave Bird here with I mean, we have the 20 speed, similarly to abomasnow, so that we can outrun that specific Mega Venusaur that he's brought before. And like Brave Bird is great because it can actually hit Lucario pretty hard. For like almost 2-hit KO perhaps, and like does more damage than Foul Play. We don't want to give him justified boosts either. With Rocket Helmet, easly a 2-hit KO if he's a physical set, and also because it's great versus like Mega Venusaur, since it can actually hit it super effectively. And other than that, it's about it. Like, it's just a nice defensive defogger, and we have Overcoat, which is great in the hail. No damage from that. Next we got here Musketeer, nice Cobalion with a Shucka Berry. Can come in clutch versus scenarios against Crocodile, so that can be pretty cool since close combat actually OHKOs offensive Crocodile. With this investment here, I'm running a more Spadef oriented, I guess, like a sort of, it can still be offensive sort of with that attack, but it can also sponge special hits decently well. is mainly just there so I can check the Rabombi, because it can take a +1 Moonblast after it quiver dances, so that's cool. With enough speed to outrun his Cryogonal. And we have Iron Head close combat. Iron Head great versus the Rabombi as well. With Toxic to break down walls, just like the just like the Suicune here. Of course, it's great because his main switch-in will likely be that Slowbro, where Toxic can actually come into play in that scenario. With Stealth Rocks being I guess the function of this set here, getting up rocks so that we can chip away at his team. Like for instance, Mence, Arcanine, and even Rabombi, Tornadus and stuff don't appreciate rocks. So I mean, it can chip away at his team, and that's really useful. Last Pokemon we got here is the Mega Latias. It's just a great mon overall. Like, there's not much else to say here. It's a great mon. Has a lot of good coverage options. Very tough to knock out because of its bulk. So we have Psyshock. Great versus Mega Venusaur. I have like 2 Mega Venusaur checks, I guess, being Delphox and Mega Lati, which are both really solid overall in this matchup. Then we also have Bolt Beam so that we can hit, you know, like Salamence, Crocodile with the Ice Beam, Slowbro with the Thunderbolt. And yeah, basically that's it. So I feel like this is like a very bulky offensive spread that can do a lot of damage to his team, to a KO Venusaur, even the defensive one with Psyshock. And yeah, we have enough speed to outrun that Cryogonal. I think it's the fastest mon we can outrun on his team. Tornadus is of course faster than Latias. Same for Rabombi. So that's going to be the team. I think I've covered pretty much everything. Hope you all enjoyed and are excited for the match going up tomorrow, 24 hours from this video, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So it's going to be an interesting match for sure. Like his team is, it can be really bulky, but it can also be pretty offensive. So it just depends on what he brings, I guess. But I feel like our team can cover pretty much everything. I really do like the heat that I brought here with the Choice Banded Abomasnow and the Adrenaline Orb Delphox. I think those two will come into play in this matchup. I'm hoping that it does, because that's kind of what I built this team around. And other than that, yeah. So let's see how we do. Hopefully we can continue going undefeated. And I will see you all on the battle going up tomorrow. I don't think I missed anything. I think this team is pretty solid overall. I think we have a pretty strong draft. I feel like I think I really do like this draft a lot that we've made, I guess, because it's been putting in some good work for sure. But yeah, that's about it from me. I'll try to get up another Showdown live soon as well. And yeah, peace.